You're listening to the Australian Water Association podcast series. My name is Jo Taranto, and joining me is Tahlia Rossi, who's a Sustainability Officer at the City of Gold Coast. And we're discussing a schools-based water conservation program. Welcome, Tahlia.
Hello.
So, the Gold Coast, a pretty large area, lots of people. What was the opportunity for local government when it came to water conservation in schools?
Yeah, so the opportunity was to really increase the awareness of schools' water consumption, because without smart logging technology, you just get a bill in the mail every 3 months and you don't have a lot of insight into where you're using water.
And was there an interest from schools as far as you could tell, or was this really driven from your organisation?
Yeah, from the beginning it was initiated by City of Gold Coast to really drive the program. But then once we started to engage with schools, they definitely saw the benefit of the program.
And so take me back to 2017. How did you decide that this was the program that you were going to roll out and start to form it all together?
With the opportunity for demand management, when we are dealing with schools, they're a really great community part of the community that brings together teachers, students, the staff of the school. So it's really a good access to a whole of the community. Rather than residentials, which would be just kind of households, it's a good opportunity.
And was this something you had done before?
Not that I'm aware of, not with the technology we used.
So the school's water conservation program was born. What did that look like?
First of all, we started with installing outpost loggers, which attach to the water meter and just generate daily water consumption data. Then it was kind of the engagement with the schools. So first of all, to let them know that we have that they have this new technology, and then to set up a meeting to really meet with them one-on-one. And just to give them access to that data so they can start to see their own consumption. And then from there we could move into benchmarking. We had Griffith University involved in the program, and we could benchmark the water use across the different schools, and then kind of set a baseline for what is an average school's water consumption. What does that look like? And from there we can start to move into identifying some of the key areas to target. And that pretty quickly came across as leaks, one of the massive issues to address.
And how many schools were part of this initial pilot?
So the initial trial was just working with 30 schools, and it was a really good group because it was a really good mix of school sizes, public and private schools, quite diverse in primary school, high school, and also some special schools.
And did you have clear objectives at that point, or was this really just about getting a benchmark to start something else?
Well, it comes from water conservation as the main driver, but it's really how can we be of service to schools and the community, and how can we, what do they know what their water use looks like, how can we help them to save money on their water bills, and how can we increase the water literacy of the school communities.
And how long did the program run for, and where are you headed now?
Yeah, so the trial ran for our engagement with the 30 schools ran for 12 months. Those schools still have access to their data, and from now we've seen really good results in leak management and just increase awareness of their own consumption. So we've rolled out the loggers citywide. So every school on the Gold Coast now has a data logger. We've given the schools access to that information. And at the moment, we're just exploring how we can collaborate and expand this program to be really holistic in sustainable resource management. So just considering the potential to include waste and energy into the program, and how we could, get a sustainable resource management program across the Gold Coast.
I'm interested in how the schools could access their data. Was it a real-time thing? Or?
Yeah, so we met with the schools one-on-one, and rather than just kind of giving them a login and giving them data and not kind of working with them around that, we thought it was a lot more effective to actually go to the school. We worked mainly with the business managers, also the ground staff, and sometimes in the small schools, the principals. So we'd sit with them and we'd take them through how to understand the data. It's all web-based, so we give them a login to the portal. They can see their daily total consumption, as well as a demand profile, and also the associated cost of the water use. And then we also kind of would work with them to understand how to identify the leaks from the demand profile and also the irrigation spikes.
And obviously smart technologies played a pretty big part of the success of this program. Is that, you feel that that's been the difference?
Definitely. Just having more access to see where your consumption is over the different times of the day, different days of the week. It's just so much more insight into their consumption than previously when you'd just get one figure on a bill every 3 months.
And with the partnerships that you formed, how important have they been to continue this program?
They've been absolutely essential. It's been the whole backbone of the program, is making sure we're engaging with the schools, meeting on their level, going to their schools, walking around with the ground staff, asking the groundsmen how they use water. But not only that, but also just even across our internal City of Gold Coast, working with what other areas of council engage with schools, as well as that. Externally, we've started to have discussions with Department of Education. Also, there's a really exciting partnership we've just formed with an organisation called the Sustainable Schools Network, and they're really a community group that's working to, across the board, enable schools and empower schools to have sustainability essential to the school system.
Is there a particular school that touched you in terms of what they did with the program and they took it to another level? Often you find with 30 schools, there's one that goes, you know what, we're going to do this so well. Was there anyone that kind of stood out to you that really...
there was obviously, with any program, varying levels of engagement from the schools, and we obviously found the more the school took ownership and really engaged with the data, the more they got out of it. But one school comes to mind, actually, it was Coomera Springs State School, and when we initially went there, they said they don't irrigate at all, and they were saying, well, that's great because we're saving water, but we're coming from the place of holistic management, so you want there to be healthy green space at the school as well. And they also had a whole heap of alternate water sources, water source infrastructure, like almost a megalitre of stormwater collection systems that were just not used, as well as a whole heap of recycled water pipes. And so from the beginning, what was really fulfilling to see was from the beginning of the program with no irrigation, and they basically had said, we have these alternate water source infrastructure, but it's too expensive to fix them, so we're just not going to use them. To the end of the program, they'd really understood the value of green space and the value of investing in alternate, the small fees that it might be to fix those, to bring them back online to support their green space at the school. So it was a real attitude shift, which I think is one of the most valuable things you can get out of it.
What would you recommend for other councils or utilities or agencies looking to do a similar sort of program?
Yeah, for sure. I think what was a great learning for me was just how important engagement is. So the schools, I originally thought, we're offering them a 3 program that's going to save them money, save water. Who could be opposed to that? But the engagement took so much longer than we thought, and I really saw that you do need to meet them at their level. It does need to be one-on-one, and it does take time, but I think that's where you really get the best results, is by making sure you have a really detailed engagement plan with the schools.
We've been talking with Tahlia Rossi, the Sustainability Officer at the City of Gold Coast. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.